jihad is a problem in Bangladesh also, I believe, but
Yes.
it is forced. It's a forced love jihad. Is not love jihad by cheating. In India, the major problem is that most of the love jihad that you see, we call it love jihad when there is cheating. When a person who's a Muslim represents himself as or a Christian and snares a girl for which he gets allegedly gets money also, and then after the marriage, sometimes girls come to know, sometimes they come to know very late, and then the girl is forced to change religion. If she does not, she faces a lot of atrocity, lot of problems and violence, and there are also killings, murders, and many people call it a myth, but it's not a myth.
Hello, viewers. We are with Dr. Ratan Sharda. You are already aware of Dr. Ratan Sharda, that he has been awarded a PhD for his thesis on RSS. He is an author, columnist, and a renowned TV panelist. Namaskar, Ratanji.
Namaskar ji.
Ratanji, we would like to now ask you a very important question about forceful and deceitful conversion of Hindus under the trap of love jihad. You know that during the recent time, a lot of cases of love jihad is taking place in India, in Bangladesh, in Pakistan, and other countries, and innocent Hindu uh, females are falling victim of this love jihad trap. So, would you please tell us about uh, this love jihad, the risk posed by love jihad, and how effectively we can counter such actions?
Well, it's very strange that Bangladesh is asking question about love jihad because love jihad is a problem in Bangladesh also, I believe, but it is forced. It's a forced love jihad. Is not love jihad by cheating. In India, the major problem is that most of the love jihad that you see, we call it love jihad when there is cheating. When a person who's a Muslim represents himself as or a Christian and snares a girl for which he gets allegedly gets money also, and then after the marriage, sometimes girls come to know, sometimes they come to know very late, and then the girl is forced to change religion. If she does not, she faces a lot of atrocity, lot of problems and violence, and there are also killings, murders, and many people call it a myth, but it's not a myth. I have a book, for example, this particular book, Love Jihad. This is one of the books that I have, which has documented real cases by human rights activists and lawyers. It is called Love Jihad or Created Dawa. And there is also, and I also met a lady researcher years before this, Jain in Indore, where she had done documentation of such cases and written a Hindi novel or fictional story about such victim girls. She did not give the real name games, fearing action against her by the volatile jihadists. I also have on YouTube with two Christian clerics from different Christian sects, not just one from Roman Catholic and one from another, system of Christianity. And they told me that only one particular has lost 3,000 girls in last few years to this love jihad. When they say they lost because she disappears, she is not traceable. Family decisions her fearing unfavorable response to the society. But they did some lot of survey, they did research, and they have documented this because they know the families. So though the families say she has gone to Mumbai, she is not in Kerala anymore. So they documented 3,000 cases. I'm talking 1 year back of just one sect. And there are such thousands of cases. If you look at the site of Arasha Vidya Samajam in Kerala, it has shown it has saved 5,000 people, out of which how many are love jihad cases, I do not know. But it is known for bringing back girls from this as victims of love jihad back to their families. There is a place called Satya Sarani in Kerala, which is the big hub of love jihad, where girls are taken, they are indoctrinated, they are brainwashed, and then they don't even talk to their families, believing that they were in a very bad religion and they need to know. And there are cases by girls like Shruti, who has actually recorded her pain in YouTube how she was brought back with the help of Harsha Vidya Samajam by the Guru, first responding to her questions about Islam and then raising questions about Islam and also telling her about Hinduism. Because she said, I don't want to even listen about Hinduism. I know it's all bad. I only talk about Quran. And when he questioned her, slowly she realized her mistake. So these are real cases. These cases exist in big numbers in Kerala, in UP, in nearly every part of India. Every day there are at least one or two cases which you hear about. So there are one or two cases you hear about. Even Hindu Post puts many such cases on its news. And if one or two cases are known every day, imagine how many cases will be there which are untraced for fear of social inaction or fear of social persecution and the very kind of embarrassment of the family. So if you consider these numbers, they are humongous numbers. And every time you see the boy has cheated, and he has first tried to put her with a love marriage. Then he says you convert your religion. He doesn't. She's thrown acid at. She's beaten up. There is violence, and this is happening regularly. So this is what love jihad is. Now, the response of the Hindu society is that they should explain their religion better to their own girls, their own younger generation, so they know what they are. But in case of cheating, how do they know? So this cheating of in the name of religion is worse that can happen. Is that an insult to Islam itself? When you cheat people, when you speak untruth, and then you try to convert the girl, but the Maulanas actually give compliments to such boys. They tell that you will get hoods in the heaven if you convert people, bring more women to Islam. Because as Swami Vivekananda put, one woman gone is not just one woman gone from Hindu fold. It is entire generation that has gone out of Hindu fold. And when they can become very militant Muslims or they can live a very horrid life. There is no midway. So this kind of disharmony that is in the name of converting people in the for the sake of Allah, I think is a disservice to Islam. Many Maulanas claim it is not correct, but the same Maulanas keep quiet when it happens. When there are confessional tapes that these people actually are encouraged to do this, you really feel sorry for such a society, for such Maulanas, and for a religion which needs cheating to convert people. So the right thinking Muslims, the right thinking Maulanas to stand up and say this is not done because it creates a lot of disharmony. It destroys families because it's not just conversion. It is actually you are destroying the very spirit of that particular person by asking her to forego her belief by the person who is actually believing, and even it has happened to boys also, not just girls. There has been cases of compulsory, violent, forced, sunnat of the boys uh, in in some places. They are in the news, and if these things happen, then how can you expect that they are told that whatever was a kafir, and from kafir who will go to hell, bringing you to a religion which will give you Jannat. This is not something that is good for a secular society, for a society where multiple religions come together, stay together. This only invites unnecessary disharmony and maybe violence in the coming times.
Ratanji, if you are aware that for the last 20 years, I have been writing against jihad and Islamist and Tablighi Jamaat and love jihad. In my opinion, you are right that love jihad is they consider this as their heavenly duty to convert a female from other religion or man and woman from other religion to Islam, but which is in Bangladesh, if you say that it's a country of 170 million Muslims people, I mean a majority of the Muslims, most of the people are not in favor of love jihad. But to my knowledge, this dawah, as you just showed, have shown me a book about love jihad and dawah, calling people to Islam. So this dawah is basically taking place with under the vessel named Tablighi Jamaat. Tablighi Jamaat is continuing its activities throughout India and many other countries in the world, and who are, of course, encouraging such kinds of notorious acts such as love jihad. Do you think that our government of Bangladesh, government of India, at least I don't expect it from Pakistan because that's a failed nation, a rogue nation. I don't expect that. But from Bangladesh, India, yes.
Pakistan has not even left the minority of count because minority is nearly wiped out. Either converted forcefully every day, three girls picked up Sikh, Hindu, or Christian. They are converted forcefully, and the state just looks on.
Yeah,
So
but
Pakistan is a
Pakistan,
totally gone case.
yeah, Pakistan is a bankrupt nation. I can say, as I say, it's a failed nation. So we don't take Pakistan into consideration. But Bangladesh, India, don't you think we need to incorporate a law outlawing the act of love jihad in Bangladesh and India, especially also in Bangladesh, so that such notorities don't take place in at least in our countries.
See, as far as India is concerned, many states have already brought in love jihad laws, the severe punishment for cheating a boy or a girl into marriage and then treating the person as a slave or in a very bad manner or forcing the person to change. So there are laws in some states, but other states where in the name of vote bank, the secular people don't want to touch such an issue for fear of extremist elements, Muslim. These things are happening, and cases are very difficult to register. The police also doesn't act, and then there is because even in normal course, it is very difficult for courts to give justice because it takes huge time, and you need evidence. Police is not helpful, but in some cases, now slowly the states are waking up. This unnecessary pandering to the extremist elements in India by the secular parties is a real problem. Otherwise, this could have been nipped in the bud much earlier. Now it's a very serious issue. In case of Bangladesh, I do not know the local situation. I do not know how it happens, but she being very just lady, I believe she should act on that also. She is acted against extremist elements because this way you create in your country, you create huge insecurity, fear in the mind of minorities, that is Hindus or Buddhists. They already have dwindled their numbers. The high number of about 18% has gone to, I think, 6 to 7%. And they live a life of fear. They are well-to-do people, they're disciplined people, they are people who mix up in every society, live peacefully all over the world. So why harassed? They should be persecuted, I do not know. And for this, government should take some action and they should create some law which makes it illegal. Because as I said, this kills the very spirit of a harmonious society.
Ratanji, as we are talking about love jihad, Islamist, jihadis, I have written an article in Hindu Post very recently about the alarming rise in Muslim population in India. And according to some statistics, that the size of Muslim population in Bharat by 2030 will be big, and by 2045 it will be even bigger. And I mean, don't you think? I mean, this kind of the massive rise in Muslim population in a country like Bharat would ultimately pose threat to the national security because unfortunately majority of the Muslims are not like me. I mean, they are inclined towards jihad or extremism or Islamism or causing harm to people of other faiths. So, don't you think this alarming rise of Muslims in Bharat is a matter of concern for all of us?
See, first of all, there is a serious threat of population overrunning the resources. Bangladesh is already facing this situation where it has limited resources and an alarming density of population. It is much more bigger than anybody can imagine. I think 3,000 something per square kilometer. If I'm not wrong, you may have the right figures compared to what Indian density of population is. One. So you have lack of resources. Same is true of India because even water, if you look at India, 4% of water resources trying to support 11 to 15% of the world population. So how will it happen? Because water is going to go more and more scarce. And same is true of Bangladesh also. So first of all, population itself has to be managed because if we want to live a good life, then we need to control population density. People say it's fine, nature will take care. Nature after how does it take care? If we keep on exploiting nature, if we keep on extracting more than nature can offer, no Allah, no Bhagwan can help us. That is point one. Point two, the population rise or demographic change in India is disturbing because the rise of militancy, rise of Wahhabism in India for many years now, since 1975, before 1975, just like Bangladesh, Indian Muslim women used to wear what normal Indian women wear. In places where there were sari, in places where there were salwar kameez, it was all same. You could not make out a Muslim woman from a Hindu woman. Same for Christian women also. But in after 1975, when petrodollars came in, when Indian Muslims went to the Middle East areas, which are Islamic countries, they came back with the indoctrination of people like Zakir Naik and their own very strong feeling about being Muslim, and they started helping these extremist elements. So this extremism is the first danger. Population is next danger. Because if the people indoctrinated in Wahhabism rise in number, naturally it's a huge risk for India, for its security. If it was normal citizens like any other citizens, it would be a normal process where they would be in a little larger number, they would be a little smaller number. For example, when you talk of India, there is a term called sensitive area. What is a sensitive area? Where Muslim population is sizable. So 20%, 30%, or 70%, 80%. Now people say, don't go there, it's a Muslim area. How can there be Muslim area in a secular country? When you say that we don't believe in religion for sake of governance, and you believe that we all live in harmony in so-called secular state, then why should a certain area be sensitive when it's Muslim dominated? Why no Hindu dominated area is secular? Sensitive, because this idea seeded by the Maulanas of since partition, that you are a different qawm, you cannot live with Hindus, you should not have friends. Like for example, people quote Quran, I do not know the exact ayat, that you should not be friendly with the people of other religion or non-believers. This is the idea which will create problem if population of Muslims of such thought increases. If these are
Yes,
modern Muslims, they are Muslims like what you talk about, then it is a natural process. But if the differentiation between population growth of Hindus and Muslims is different, and naturally there is going to be wider and wider significance. Though there is claim that the Muslims are also adopting, as they get educated, lower family norms, and their production it is going down, but still there is a huge variation. And if this kind of belief system exclusivity stays on, then these numbers are definitely something that I'm worried about. Because it
yes,
creates ghettos then. You want to live only in your area. You want to have areas which are mini Pakistans or the sense of Pakistan. There's TMC leader who has been quoted a few years back that this is my mini Pakistan, you don't worry, everything is fine. So this idea that you can create enclaves within it and create a small exclusive area where you will rule, whether it's Europe, even Europe has the same problem, not just India. Europe has understood. We know because we have suffered this partition, but somehow the secular people in the name of vote bank keep on nurturing such ideas.
Ratanji, we know what happened during the recent Mahashivratri and Holi, and why actually I'm talking about this alarming rise of Muslim population, because even now there have been attack on people during the Mahashivratri and during Holi in Bharat, also in Pakistan. So
every holiday, I have made a
every
short in Hindu post.
every Hindu
Every
religious
festival,
every Hindu
yes,
religious festival. Even in Bangladesh
yes,
in 2021, during the Durga Puja, one Muslim thug, he placed a copy of Quran, and it generated almost a massacre in the country. So I
yes,
mean,
yes,
Hindus are under attack, even in Bharat,
yes,
not only in Bangladesh, not only in Pakistan, in Bharat. So, I mean, can you imagine the degree of audacity, arrogance of those Muslims who are attacking,
see, jihadis have been given a
not
long
only
history,
jihadis, not only jihadis, I will say these are brainwashed Muslims. Every
yes, but
Muslim.
because Shoaib they have been given a wrong idea of history that they always win. They have been given idea that other societies are weak, Hindus are weak, they can be overpowered. There are statements by parties like MIM where they say we 15 crore are more than enough for you 100 crores, or give us 15 minutes, we'll finish off Hindus. This kind of bravado comes from the mistaken notion that Hindus will not retaliate. I didn't want to give the example, but in Gujarat also in 2002, when they burnt a whole bogie and burnt alive 59 people, including women and child, they believed there will be no reaction. When reaction happened, then the victimhood card came out. And police acted very well, Modi ji acted well. At least one third of the people who were killed were Hindus during police firing. People who were put into jail for rioting, there were at least one third or more of Hindus. Everybody is punished. But the fact remains that despite this 2002 episode, still believe many Muslims who are brainwashed, as you said, maybe 20%, maybe 30% of the population, maybe 10% or 1% do not know. But they have created a bad will. They are under the illusion that Hindus will never retaliate, which is a very dangerous situation. Because when in Pakistan during partition, if you remember, I do not know about Bengal because there's no reaction, but in Pakistan, when they sent out trains loads of women killed, raped, and with the best compliment of Muslim League, etc., something written like that. Before that, there was no retaliation from the Hindu side and Indian side. But once the train came, nobody could stop the retaliation. It proved very costly. Millions lost their lives, crores lost their homes, including Muslims, because they thought Hindus won't react. But after all, Hindus can also react. They have fought invaders for all those 1,000 years. They have never kept quiet, right from Dahi's time and later on. They have retaliated every time. They didn't have even the invaders, including Moors, didn't have a complete control over India ever. Even Aurangzeb had to go to Deccan to somehow suppress Shivaji and other people, but finally died disappointed man. So this is the Hindu spirit. And these Muslims who think they can challenge, or these jihadi elements who think they can challenge, they are playing with fire. They should not play it because it happens, everybody loses and they will lose heavily. And this is not a right approach. And that is why I say peace is the best bet, and to live with harmony is the best bet. And we should not try to create these kind of challenges in the society, believing that only they can fight, because they are also the same general resonant. They are from the same DNA. If they can fight, Hindus can fight. If Mahabharat could happen with Kaura and Pandava, it can happen again. But do they want Mahabharat? And if they want Mahabharat, do they think they will survive this kind of violence which they want to promote? They should not, because it is a very dangerous game. This dangerous game should not be played. They should not try to keep on instigate Hindus to turn violent. So they can claim victimhood. They can go to international press and say, "Oh, we have been beaten up. We are the victims. We are the oppressed." Because then after that, everything is totally uncontrollable. They should not do this kind of. Taqir Ahmed just about 2 days back has done the same thing. He has again put up a challenge of murdering people or killing people or rising and asking Hindu Muslim youth to not be challenged and they will go on the street, etc. This kind of language will not help, because Hindus are no more timid. They are no more divided the way they thought they were, and nor are Muslims all together with this kind of extremism. I'm very sure there are a large number of Muslims who don't want this kind of extremism, this kind of violence. They want to live peaceful life like any of us. They want to progress. They also want to have their children well educated and not put into dingy ghettos when they will only rise to become some small mechanic, some small wireman, and live a pathetic, dirty life. They also want good life. But for to have a good life, they need peace. The government is offering so many scholarships, so many skill training programs. After that, these people try to misguide them. It is a misfortune for that society more than it is for India itself.
Ratanji, before 1947, your forefathers, my forefathers, all of them were Indians. And before
Yes.
the Mughals invaded Bharat, I mean, we were also Indians. So before
Yes.
those
Hindus.
Mughal invaders invaded our India, I mean, there was no Arab religion in this part of the world. So we are, let's say, now the divided, Bangladesh, India, whatever you say, it's a kind of the
But Shoaib also you will see that before this Wahhabism came in, Muslims of India, Muslims of Bangladesh, Indonesia, Malaysia were very different. They were more Malaysian, Indian, or Bangladeshis or Bengalis than they were Arabians.
No,
This
but
strange idea that we come from Arabs descent, which has been put into their mind by people like Zakir Naik or others, is foolish notion, because Arabs don't respect you. Arabs don't believe that you are Arabians. How can you be Arabians? Your culture is much more rich. Your culture is much more varied. Your culture is much more inclusive. You cannot become Arabian. You should not become Arabians. That is the reason you have different kind of Islam in this Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia, and it's a different kind of exclusivism that existed in Arabian lands. Even they are giving up. Even UAE and other Middle East countries are slowly realizing that this folly of having exclusivism, which tries to be supremacist to everybody other religion, and this has to happen. You want to live peacefully. So this idea, as you rightly said, we have a different culture, we have different feeling, or as I said in the earlier episode, Bangladesh would not have separated from Pakistan because its culture was different, because it didn't believe in the supremacist Punjabi idea of Islam. It separated. It was violent, it was painful, where Hindus also paid a very, very heavy price in terms of genocide, in terms of rapes and killing of women and men and children, including Bangladeshi themselves. So this has to be understood in the right context. If it understood, then we will overcome this demon of Islamism and demon of this brainwashed, people.
Ratanji, thank you so much for giving us your precious time. And I do sincerely hope that we, the people of Bangladesh, and our friendly people of India, will work together in confronting Islamism and jihadism. At the same time, we will also confront any foreign element which wants to try to disrupt our country's peace and prosperity. And I hope that India shall continue to prosper under the magnanimous leadership of His Excellency Prime Minister Narendra Modi. At the same time, I hope the people of India, will also support Bangladesh to be continuing under the leadership of our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. And on the occasion of the 53rd anniversary of independence of Bangladesh, I would like to express my personal gratitude to the people of Bharat for helping us back in 1971 and in defeating the Pakistani occupation forces.
True.
And the way both of us, Bharat and Bangladesh, fought against Pakistan in 1971, we shall continue to fight together any adverse element that tries to destabilize our countries, India and Bangladesh. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, Shoaib for inviting me. It has been a very good experience. I never knew that people like you exist in Bangladesh who are brave enough to face the Islamists under the threat of radicals, and the way you want good relations with India. We also look forward to such friendly people. We look forward to Bangladesh itself, which is very friendly. It was artificial Islamism which tried to create even India and Bangladesh, and it has to go, because after all, we are in together. It was India that helped Bangladesh become independent of the tyranny of the Punjabi Islam of Pakistan, and it is also important that we live together, because that is the only way you and we can prosper well and our people can prosper well. Thank you so much.